God, I love this song.
I'll let you start. Why do you love this song?
Well, it's super fun to play, right? God, just that beginning part. Nick Menza too. Jesus Christ. Sorry. This is another really unique song, and it feels like a really short song, but I guess it's not because it takes a while to get into the meat of it because there's that really long intro, right? With that really kind of unique bass. But like all the riffs in this one are when they really get into the meat of the song, it doesn't take very long for it to end, really. So like it feels like it's shorter than it is, but I guess it's like actually like 4 minutes long.
No, it's like
Um,
it's a 5 minute and 42 second track.
oh, yeah, okay.
But there isn't a lyric until 2:05.
Yeah, which is interesting, right?
Right from the beginning, the drums are tearing away and then drip back into the
Yep,
rhythm guitar. And it's
yep.
this smooth, precise element where you keep talking about Nick Menza and how talented he is. I think this one helps really show that right out of the gate. And then we're getting the guitars, they're fighting their way in and saying,
Hmm.
hey, we're at the party now. And then it's just the guitars start thrashing along with the lyrics at 2 minutes, 2:05 kind of.
Yeah. It's dope on me now. uh, yeah. And then this one too is like it has some really really crazy lyrics or guitar parts towards the end that the timing on it is really weird. I hate to just acapella stuff or what like riffs or whatever, but oh this yeah that part right there. Hold on. It's just such a weird, and he starts soloing over it or whatever, and he takes that riff for a ride too. He plays it all over the neck, right? He's playing it pretty low at first, and then he starts playing it pretty high. Like I don't know that riff. I play that riff a lot because I think it's real weird, and I always want to like use those same notes or kind of pattern to make something, and I can't really, you
Okay.
know there's a handful of songs on here that I play all the time because I've owned the tablature, for quite a while, and every now and then I'll like if I fall into a rut, I'll be like, let me just open up Rust a piece and see if there's something I could, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
And
let's
it'll
wake
kind of
up the musical soul a little bit through them.
yeah, let's see what Mustaine would do, uh, but that's another thing about this album too is like a lot of like the guitar patterns like he uses I don't know if I want to call it the blues scale or whatever, but he uses whole steps a lot, which like if you're a guitar player, like you want to make something evil or whatever, there's like a lot of half steps happen, like like any Slayer tablature, you're doing a lot of like half stepping all over the place, right? You start to play a lot of whole steps and it kind of sounds like bluesy, you know. But Mustaine uses that a lot throughout all of these things, and it never sounds awkward or it never, you know what I mean? It never sounds like he's playing the blues necessarily or whatever. It never sounds like Southern or what, you know what I mean?
Right.
But
Well, and
I don't know.
I think he does that as well, especially in this track with the lyrics. I guess it's the chorus, but it only shows up once, so maybe
It
it's
only shows
not.
up once. Yeah,
Uh,
here's another prime example of a like it sounds like a chorus, but it only does it once. The way this song is written, the song structure is just weird. It shouldn't work. You should be like, what? This shouldn't feel like a final, like a whole piece of music. You know what I mean?
right.
But it
And
does. It feels.
getting it that late and the delayed cadence that he uses and that they use on the, and I'm going to say it at the wrong cadence now because I have a note but I can't grasp it, but the I Master 5 Magics, that
Yeah,
cadence and delivery for each of those is just, it doesn't make sense to the ear, but it's beautiful.
yeah, yeah. High master, and it goes so well. Except it was in the '90s though, so it was like Suzanne Summers had that thigh master, remember? So like everybody would just be like thigh master, which kind of ruined it for me a little bit. But like I try not to think about that.
But I
I'm
think that just made a lot of people smile while listening to this, so
uh,
that's fantastic.
yeah, hopefully we'll see.
Well, and we get
But
a little bit more of a call and response later in here, but it's all like my note is it's like a D&D character responding.
Yeah, it is kind of. And like there's so many things. I always think this too. There's so, especially with these call and response, and when he uses these weird vocal there's like some gang vocals or like some I hesitate to call them monster vocals, but they are more so than his regular voice, right?
Right.
That you hear in this album every now and then, right? He peppers those things in. And like they like to me, they should sound stupid, but for some reason they don't, you
They
know? Because
fit.
it's not like they sound like super tough or like super monstery or whatever, or like scary or something, right? You know what I mean? But there's something about them that just work perfectly.
It,
Um,
it's it's kind of dark and menacing,
yeah.
and I,
I
I
tell you
think
what
it
though,
works well because of that.
I'll tell you what though, here's something to put on your do not do list. So he remastered the first 4 or 5 or maybe 6 albums back in like 2004 or something like that.
Mhm.
And in my opinion, ruined it. Right. So what I just said about the like the gang vocals or the monster vocals or whatever, a lot of those he had to go back and re-record, and they do sound stupid. I don't know which version you've been listening to, but uh I Spotify luckily has both versions. It has the 1990 version and then it has the remastered 2004 version. But the 1990 version is leaps and bounds better. And
And that is the one I listened to because
God,
you right out of the gate were like, do not listen to the remaster.
oh yeah, I
Listen,
told you that. Oh yeah,
because then
it's
we
just
started talking about how much it hurt listening to Whitesnake's album
uh,
and some of their music and what
yeah,
David did to those.
yeah. Oh man, dude, I remember kind of being excited that he was remastered. I don't know why or whatever. You know what I mean? I don't know. Sometimes people remaster stuff and it's fantastic. Like Sepultura, Beneath the Remains got and so did Arise. They got a remaster job and it was fantastic. You know, Dave did these himself, and I think that is pretty much where the problem lies. First of all, Rust in Peace needs no remaster. It shouldn't, just don't touch it.
Yeah, leave it be.
You know what I mean? Leave it be. But I could see where like the first 3 albums, maybe he might want to pump them up, especially like you know 2003, 2004. Everybody was like boosting up the drums and boosted like they were boosting everything. It was kind of a fad at the time. Maybe it still is, but maybe he felt like he just wanted to you know put a little extra oomph into those things, which I could see maybe the first 3, but he had to go back and re-record a lot of that stuff because a lot of it was lost. And God, he just butchered Rust in Peace. It is not even the same album. It's oh God, it sucks. It
So
sucks real bad.
luckily we do have access to this.
Yeah.
And the ones that should be playing along with this in the YouTube playlist, I believe are all from the original.
Oh, thank God. Yeah. All
So
right. Yeah.
that was the goal the whole way through. We'll see how long they last. Spotify
Yeah.
already got me once. We'll see what YouTube does.
Yeah, dude. Several years ago, I made a mistake of buying. I don't know why I did this, but I bought a Rust in Peace picture disc, right? Like on vinyl or whatever. And I wasn't really thinking about it, just because I wasn't. And I brought it home, and I was like, oh, it's the remastered version. Like, know, and so
But
whatever.
you
So
had
it's
the
hanging up.
art, right?
Yeah. So well, and it's hanging on the wall. It's actually literally in front of me every day I work. So it's that one's up on the wall, right? And then I was lucky enough because Capitol Records went back and they kind of reissued some of the original ones. I found one of those when I was kind of weary to buy it because I almost didn't believe the guy at the store. But I was in Columbus, Ohio, and I was just like, is this right? You know what I mean? Is this going to sound the way I want it to sound? Is this the unmastered? You know what I mean? Like the unremastered version. And the guy swore up and down it was. And so Capitol does a thing where it's like these are the originals, and they re-release it. I forget what it's called. It's called something. But yeah, so I'm lucky enough to have, or I have both versions, and one of them is a piece of art. So
Yeah. That is
yeah.
so you get to live the best life with both of them.
I guess so. Yeah. Yeah.
So and with those remasters, they're probably not quite deadly, but maybe they tie into track 5. Poison was the cure.